NSFW, what would you change about your first time having sex? Being able to keep it up. I went limp with nerves. Performance anxiety is a fickle bitch. The fact that my girlfriend said, let's pretend that didn't happen afterwards. He and I were both 15. And he had internet that his parents did not monitor. So after we have pretty awkward sex, he gets out of me, rips off the condom, and jizzes on my face. It seemed like one swift move. Maybe 2 seconds, then boom, goo on my face. I sat there flabbergasted only for a moment before I wiped it off and rubbed that hand down his face. We were both left stunned, staring at each other like, what the fuck did you just do? ? Then we went and washed our faces. Unromantically. I would have changed the whole face jizz thing then. But looking back, it is pretty funny to me now. I probably wouldn't have chosen the first night I smoked pot and got blackout drunk to be my first time. My dick being soft. I would not change the who, but I'd maybe change the location. This girl had called me to come and get her from the next town over because her parents were fighting, and I wanted to be at a retro. I went over immediately, and did I mention this was my first time meeting her despite us talking for a while on ICQ. I am old. So I picked her up and brought her back to my parents' place. I had never even kissed a girl at all, or had a girlfriend that went beyond hand holding and maybe some over the clothes stuff, so I was super inexperienced. Anyway, we're in my room and she kisses me, and then things proceeded very quickly from there. I am nervous AF, but it was a good experience except for one thing. We finish and I hear my grandmother calling me for dinner and her distinctive footsteps coming up the stairs. We had seconds to get dressed and get our composure, and fortunately we did. It was good though, and we stayed together for 2.5 years after that. I just wish it was not at my parents' house, so close to dinner time lol. Different place. Or different time. Either way I could have avoided having some poor mom walking in and finding me balls deep in her daughter. Probably would not have done while watching The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Just an idea though. I said thank you afterwards. I made her feel embarrassed because I said I could feel her heartbeat on my dick. I didn't realize she was orgasming, so she got super embarrassed. Not having a boot on my foot from kicking a spinning lawnmower blade. I was quite nervous and said you can give me a blowjob, meaning the other way around, and he said it's called cunnilingus. I was so embarrassed that decided not to explain and didn't stop him. I cringed in enormous amounts for long months remembering that moment. I would love to go back in time and not hum the Final Fantasy victory theme immediately after. Seriously, please like and subscribe and comment something nice for your favorite Reddit slave. Not having it in such a public place. No one was there, mind you, but goddamn someone could have been, and that would have either scarred me or become a permanent kink. P beforehand. Not full on sex, but the first time I got a hand job she made me wear a condom. It made sense the way she explained it to me, because then cum wouldn't go flying everywhere. But it made things kinda awkward with the next girl I was messing around with. I just assumed that's what people did with hand jobs. So I pulled out a condom when she was playing with me. She backed off and was like, whoa, I'm not ready to have sex with you yet. I awkwardly explained that I wasn't trying to suggest that. It's just how I thought hand jobs went. She told me it was pretty weird and the whole thing just killed the mood. So I wish the other girl hadn't put that thought in my head. The location. Carla's dressing room is not an acceptable place to have sex. 16-year-old me. Not having sex with a girl whose boyfriend was in jail. I would have stuck to my guns and said no instead of caving into her guilt tripping. The person I had sex with. Decents. Pulled out because we were young and I got it all over her face. BC she turned around too fast and I got it in her eye. Subsequently I had to take her to the eye doctor and it was very embarrassing for her, and it was a lot. Honestly, I'd like it to have been later. I rushed into it at 15 with a boyfriend who I thought I loved, but was that usual teen infatuation which quickly disappeared. Messed with my head for a while after he dumped me not long after. Hit and quit, I guess. Let the guy use warming lube. felt like a volcano erupted in my anus. We took a shower and used cooling lube after all. I'd say getting past 10 seconds would have been pretty cool. It probably would have been better if it were Renault in a room full of sleeping people who had passed out after sophomore semi-formal. And, you know, on a bed where we could have had a better idea on how to properly angle ourselves. Learning how to not overreact to everything that is going on. God, looking back, I was a freaking idiot making weird faces and noises because OMG I'm getting laid. I just want to go back, calm down, and step up on my oral game. If I'd waited a month, my first time could have been with my future, now ex. But that's neither here or there, wife, as opposed to some random girl whose name I cannot even remember. Was in her bed. I guess I'd have it in a place with a bigger bed. More romantic setting, but overall wouldn't change it. My first girlfriend and all. Not fucked 5 weeks after breaking my femur. I had just started walking and assisted again, and after that I couldn't walk for days. I would have not been a horny manipulative teenage boy who would grow up to be ashamed of the way he treated women at that age. The amount of blood. Not the first time I had sex, but when I took my current boyfriend's virginity we were having sex, and when we were switching positions we lost the condom. We were looking on the bed and cold No'd find it, and I was really confused, and then he goes over a hold on over and reaches into my vagina and pulls the condom out. Everyone jokes about a retro pump so I was quite literally a one pump chump. Oh man, like everything. Who it was with, when, where, duration, amount of hair, the part when I slid out and just finished between her butt and the bed, getting caught by my mom. Just everything. I'd choose a different goat. Nothing. It was weird and awkward and quick. With a nice girl I don't know anymore. Just as it should be. Not get walked in on. I would have negotiated the price downwards a little more. The girl. I'd be conscious and not drugged. Have it not be rape. Less uncle. And before that it would happen, followed by thousands of sad upvotes. Nothing. Had a great time in that minivan. I would like to retract it altogether. I have only had sex with one person and I'd rather still be a virgin. Can I talk about my first kiss instead? Because I was 24 and had never kissed anyone romantically before. I basically rammed our faces together and smashed my teeth into his. We're married now. Deleted. The age. Nothing. She knew what she was doing. We loved each other and it lasted an hour. My nerves kept me from finishing until the last 20 minuets, when I finally relaxed. Also had many years of jerking off, so it was difficult to get used to the feeling. Made her come a bunch, which made me feel really good. Still with her years later. Going to get married. If I had to choose something it would be the amount I worried before the act. That it wasn't a drunk one night stand with my assistant manager that used me for a rebound D. I would have made him date me first. It was a guy I just met like 3 months prior. If that. I was a freshman and just wanted to get it over with, so I offered, and of course he accepted. It all ended up working out fine though. We have a house and child together and are getting married. But still. Honestly, nothing. Maybe I would have came. But that was at no fault of him, and only from my own nerves. I came the next time we did it, and we were together for 4 years after. Not being in a pool. My first time was miserable. It was with my best friend's ex. They broke up years before that, and my prom date's best friend. I married my prom date. I had had a bunch of opportunities to have sex before, and I always turned them down. Looking back I have no idea why. But I was almost 18 and drunk at a party. This girl comes up to me and sucks on my necklace while running my crotch. I was powerless. I didn't have condoms and had to ask someone else to run and get them for me because I was too drunk to drive. It was my first time wearing a condom and it was too small. It was so tight that it hurt a bit. Turns out I'm on the larger side and had delayed ejaculation. Neither seemed out of the ordinary based on porn I had watched. Porn isn't real life, people. So it was a long time until she called it. I didn't finish. She wasn't interested in helping that situation or even cuddling. Woke up with nothing but regrets. Had to tell my best friend. He was fine with it. My future wife was pissed at her BFF and me. I didn't know for sure, but felt something was off with her. Didn't learn my lesson and had sex with her again at the after prom party weekend twice. Once alone, once with another girl. Each time sucked as much as the first. Although I got better condoms and lube. My future wife got pissed and we started dating shortly after that. Married to my prom date now, and the girl I slept with is my kid's godmother. They would have listened when I said no.